I'm surprised there aren't more volleyball manga. Is this gonna be the next Haikyuu? I guess we'll see. Recently started manga in Japan that people don't talk about here. For as much manga that we actually do get published in English, I feel like there are so many more that we actually don't hear about. And as someone who ventures over to the Japanese manga tuber side of YouTube, I'm here to bring some of the most interesting sounding and recently published manga that I believe should be published in English. Because like I said, for as much manga as we get published, I feel like there's so much more that could be discovered and that I feel like people would really enjoy. If there are other manga that you want to be published in English, let us know down in the comments, and yeah, let's get right into it. Yokoso, my manga society. So the first manga that I wanted to talk about is Chihaya Restart. Now, firstly, going into this, these covers are absolutely amazing. They're really pretty. Yeah, I would definitely love these in my collection. They look stunning. Now getting into the story, this story is about Chihaya, and she's a gifted track and field runner who meets a rival at a separate school, and at this school, she promises her new rival that they're gonna meet at the inter-high and compete against each other. This is where it gets to be more unique than other sports manga, because in this manga, in this timeline, this is actually when COVID-19 starts. All of the sports events, the inter-high is canceled. That kind of ends up being like the end of her like high school track and field career. After 8 years, she spends those entire 8 years being a shut-in. She closes herself off from society. She barely goes out. After those 8 years, she actually gets back into running. And so that's kind of like where this story gets like its uniqueness from. It's after those 8 years. Obviously, she's probably not in shape. She's getting back into it. And yeah, I just feel like that's like a super interesting take on sports manga or a manga in general. I feel like I've never seen a manga based off like the actual events of like, let's say COVID-19. So this would be extremely interesting to be able to read. So I hope this for sure gets a publication. So moving on to the next manga, we have Sankyu Pitch. This is kind of like a play on words. It could mean, you know, thank you pitch, or Sankyu would mean like 3 throws. And I'll get to the meaning of that in a second. So one reason I want this manga to get published is because I feel like in English, we actually don't have any. I could be wrong, and there could be like 1 or 2 maybe, but I feel like there are other sports manga that we have more of besides baseball. So for as popular and for as many baseball manga as there are like in Japan, we don't get nearly as many. So this manga starts off with a character called the Baseball Club Slasher, and in school they actually have a baseball team, and on this baseball team there is a character, the main character, who bothers the different baseball players. One day, the captain finds out who it is. This character's name is Fusetsu Kiriyama. After the captain finds out who it is, the captain actually figures out that this student is actually really good at pitching. Here's where this twist comes in. Kiriyama can actually only throw 3 pitches per day. And I feel like this is such an interesting concept. Apparently he had been a really good pitcher in like middle school, and then he developed the yips. And so if you know anything about the yips, it impedes on your ability to like compete and stuff. And so he can only throw 3 pitches, like 3 fast pitches per day. And after the 3rd pitch, he gets noticeably weaker. He throws like slow balls and he's not nearly as good. So it's got to be something like psychological.
3 pitches a day?
3 pitches a day.
You should not be on the team.
And yeah, to me, I feel like this is even more interesting because I used to be a pitcher. I used to play baseball. Being able to throw only 3 good pitches a day, I would have been off the team. And so I feel like this story is definitely going to be about how he can strategically throw in like these weaker balls while also like mixing it up with the 3 good balls. And then I feel like there's probably going to be some sort of signs of like a traumatic event that caused the yips. So maybe it'll be also about him getting over that trauma that like caused it. So super interested to see what kind of manga this is gonna be. So Haikyuu, one of the most popular, arguably one of the most popular sports manga of all time. With that being said, I'm surprised there aren't more volleyball manga, is what I would be saying until now. So this next manga that I'm going to be talking about is Dig It. Is this going to be the next Haikyuu? I guess we'll see. This story is about Gaku. He is a high school volleyball player. He's actually the son of a former national volleyball player, and his dad was an attacker on the team. Gaku is expected to also be an attacker. Like his whole life, he's been told, you know, you're going to be an attacker. You're gonna be such a good attacker. Gaku has other plans. He doesn't want to follow, you know, his parents, his dad's dreams. He wants to follow his own dreams. So he doesn't want to be an attacker. He wants to be a libero. And if you know anything about volleyball, that's the person who's really good at receiving on the team. He wants to surpass his dad's expectations and dreams and his legacy, become a really, really good libero. So I feel like this could definitely be a really exciting story, especially as the next up and coming volleyball manga.
Snapkin.
So this next manga is called Honnara Uruhodo. So this one's about a laid-back young man who actually works at a secondhand bookstore. Now, there's nothing super crazy actiony about this manga. This is for all you slice of life lovers out there. Also book lovers, because you know, it's about a bookstore and what goes on at the bookstore. And in this manga, what's super cool about this is in the manga itself, they actually feature and title real books. Now this is episodic, so you're gonna get a lot of different stories about, you know, random people coming into the store. This young man's probably gonna have a bunch of interactions with like a lot of different types of people. So there's gonna be like students, there's probably gonna be like older characters who are trying to sell off some of their books or collections, and you know, just like regular customers. So I feel like this is definitely gonna be super laid back, super chill. If that sounds like something you like, definitely look it up, keep an eye out for it, because I feel like this is definitely something that would probably be published in English and that people would really enjoy here. So I feel like this next one has been gaining a lot of traction, not even just in Japan. This next one is called Someone Hurts. This story is about two high schoolers, Mime and Kurage. So these two are in the same class and they have one thing in common. They both love late night comedy radio shows. I feel like this is another one of those wholesome type of manga. I feel like the art for this manga just makes you feel so cozy, and I feel like a late night type of manga definitely has those cozy vibes. So one of these students, Kurage, is actually pretty famous for sending in like hilarious comments to this comedy late night show. Mime gets almost kind of like jealous, so they sort of start competing and they both start sending in like different comedic comments. That's kind of like where the story goes. It's kind of like this super wholesome rom-com type of story where they both compete in this radio show. The comedy and the comments they send in are actually like super funny jokes. And if you're interested in this manga at all, you can actually go to the Shonen Jump app and the first 16 chapters are actually on here. So I feel like this manga actually has a huge chance of getting published in English. If you're interested at all, go check it out. I feel like that's a really good sign and it's super popular. Check it out. So this last one I wanted to talk about is called Jashin no Bento Yasan. So this one, I have a feeling this is gonna be a straight up comedy. This follows a character named Lainey, who is actually a former god of harvest and death. And so she was actually banished from the realm of the gods because she started a war between the northern and the southern kingdoms. In order to regain godhood and to enter the realm again, they have to accumulate good karma. And so what they do is they start a lunch cart. This is gonna be super funny, super hilarious, also pretty laid back, but also at the same time, you're gonna get this god who is trying to run a lunch cart in the normal world, and I feel like there's gonna be a lot of jokes around how maybe the god doesn't understand some things, and yeah, I feel like it could definitely be super wholesome too. So it's time for this video's hashtag Snepkin Manga Showcase. This could come from anywhere, from Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, any of the social medias. Just do hashtag Snepkin Manga and your bookshelf could make it into one of these videos. So this comes from Sushant from my Discord, 2 months into collecting. So let's take a look. Up top, we're gonna start with, are these like Invincible, like the show, or like the comic with like the omnibuses? But these are like singles, or is this like a different comic? Am I like getting that completely wrong? Let me know down below, because these seem super interesting. We got Mushishi, got some JoJo's Peak. We got the new Baki omnibuses, so I love these. I have all of them so far as well. And then we got Peakest of Peak, 20th Century Boys. Moving on down below, we've got One Punch Man, Blue Lock, super cool. Chojin X, I feel like that's pretty interesting to see. I feel like most people opt for like Tokyo Ghoul first, but super cool to see Chojin X. The Fable looks absolutely amazing. A bunch of Junji Ito. So we got some short stories, Tomie. Yeah, I love Junji Ito. I just think his stories are like hilariously written for horror. And then we got a bunch of One Piece, got like 1 through 23. Super cool. I love how you're displaying that, volume 11. And then on the bottom shelf, we've got, I believe most of these are comics except for the Vagabond and Berserk. I feel like I've seen this Kabuki. I'm assuming this is a comic because it's read from like left to right. So let me know if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. But we got a bunch of Batman. Sandman I heard was really good. Super cool. For 2 months, this collection is absolutely amazing. Yeah, keep it up, it's super cool. And so yeah, let me know down in the comments if any of these mangas sounded super interesting to you. Do you want any of these to get published in English? Did I miss any? Are you guys following any of the manga being published in Japan? Let me know down below. I could definitely check them out, take a look at them. If you're also interested in a part 2 of one of these, let me know. I love looking at different manga. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to join the Manga Society today. And as always, this world is cruel, but at least we have manga.